Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Michael here from Viral Funding Solutions. Today, I am going to talk to you about the SBA EIDL Loan update, as well as banking activity and frequency of your deposits into your business checking account and why that is vital, as well as giving you loads of extra bonus tips on how to get a business loan 101, different services, scenarios. I may even get on the share screen in a moment to go through some of these resources that you can go ahead and pick up. And everything you need will be down below in the description for you to get started. So when you're done watching this, perhaps while you are, you can look there for all information. Also, leave me a comment if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you need my help. But the fastest way to get a hold of me, and like I tell everybody, and you've likely heard me talk to you one-on-one, is to fill out a very simple, less than 30-second questionnaire where then I will be able to give you a fully customized and email response back that's very personalized on what your best funding option and options are, very thoroughly broken down from the introduction all the way down to a conclusion on what I would do. You get all the meats and the potatoes, a whole Thanksgiving table, plus Christmas and everything more. So this video is very, very important. But before anything, if you're here right now, please give me a hashtag live in the comments or a hashtag replay if you're here in that time interval. I recently got a new laptop, so I apologize if it is a little dark. I still have to figure out how to configure the brightness. I know how to do that, but it pertains to the video quality and the brightness on it. I have some light naturally coming through the window. It is a sunny day here in Vancouver, Washington. It looks like it'll be this way throughout today. Hopefully, haven't looked at the weather app in the channel, but the clouds, you can see them moving into the south, which is a good sign. Now, let me know where you guys are tuning in from in the comment section. Let me know how your day is going. Have you received business funding yet? Have you received your EIDL loan increase, your reconsideration, any initial amount? Have you explored an alternative option? Perhaps you've spoken with me direct messenger wise, not always a phone call. Perhaps we have already. Maybe I've texted you. Perhaps I've sent you an email and so forth. And one thing I want to make sure of is if you're unresponsive, don't go at this like, hey, I'm just going to go do the minimum and I'm just going to be a tire kicker. I'm just going to go start something there. And then next thing you know, I'm going to go and apply to that company over here. And for one, I dislike that, obviously. And then secondly, that is hurting your chances of getting the best offer. Not only that, but the best explanation of what is required. Speaking to a consultant, a broker, an agent, somebody that can help you, align you with the right service. You may think you need an SBA 7A loan. Perhaps you do qualify, but that's not what you should do. You're in the situation where you needed inventory, where you're not going to get it in until about another 7 weeks. And so you need the line of credit right now. So then when you get you're purchasing in bulk, which is best for you, or you have a huge supply, but you know the ones that make you the most money, the most income, and you know how you have to distribute that and how much inventory of that you actually need. There are a lot of purposes for business funding. I don't just want to limit it to one example. Hi, Eric. How are you doing? Not one dime. Did you get a reason why? And I won't speak about the declines in this video for the EIDL loans. I have a separate video. I think I linked it to down below in the description. If it's not there, I may try to put it in there. But what is happening right now with EIDL loans? So there really is no further update aside from the fact that the queue has been opened. Those of you who were stuck, who already requested an increase, I have been getting emails back and forth that they saw a button in their portal just recently, not everybody. So you may see that for a request for an increase, but it's highly likely that won't be sitting in there. And yesterday I made a video on it being the last day for you to access your EIDL portal, and perhaps there could be an extension of that in time. But you were given the options to download those 4506T forms, any supplemental documentation required. request loan modification stuff you could see there, and so forth. So I covered that yesterday, and we're moving on from that. Everything now moving forward is in speculations, but it is for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, the COVID-19 bill, that hopefully the Senate can get in an agreement here and be able to pass this. But for the moment, it's not looking that great for the restaurant revitalization funds. There's still a lot of back and forth going on. I don't want to get into the specifics, any kind of politics and governmental information here moving forward. But just know that that's still in the works, and I will keep keeping you guys updated as the weeks go on. And I did this live today. Thursday, I'm going to California. I leave at 6 in the morning. I should be arriving by 8:30. My Thursday through about Tuesday, you may not hear much of me. It may be sprinkles of a video here, a blog post, a social media update, perhaps a video here or there. But I will be extremely busy. For one, trying to recalibrate this. Like when you go on a vacation, you take time away from producing, you take time away from sometimes I don't want to say 100% operational, but I'm going to be taking some time off for myself and my family. I'm going to a wedding, and perhaps I won't be posting as frequently. So this is why I did this today, a little bit spontaneous. I did not broadcast it out to you guys, but just think of this being your Thursday. So that's what's going on with the SBA EIDL right now. There are a lot of things happening on the back end. Nothing is always set in stone. So for those of you wondering, will it open up? It could. You know, the whole deferment period, I covered about that yesterday, and some of the things you need to manage and get together. So what I want to transition to, this is the main purpose of this video. For those of you who are EIDL participants, applicants, you've received or haven't received funding, banking activity. And I'm going to release a broadcasted email about this. Maybe it's attached to this video, perhaps no video. That's what I have it set up. It's in my drafts. All I have to do is go broadcast it out to you guys who are a part of my email sequence. And what it'll be, and I'll kind of read off of that just to use as documentation and as guidance. But again, I'm likely going to sometime this week be email broadcasting what I'm going to be speaking about right now in video. So you really need to pay close attention to this part, because this is the number one reason I would say for the most declines, and it can keep you getting declined forever. Literally, I'm saying this because it is for your own good. I've spoken to hundreds upon thousands of business owners. I've been in this position before, so I know how hard it is. But once you realize what this one activity you're doing, and it could be purposely or by accident, you are going to continue to be declined. So please pay attention. And before I say anything, make sure you guys are consistently going through my video content when I'm not there. I know many people have questions. Can I get you on a phone call? I can't answer calls every single day, like 100 times a day. I'm not that individual. I'm not a sales rep. I'm a person just like you are who's running a business. I just happen to be an expert in my space as an agent and a broker. So I can't be on a call every single second. And when I'm on a call and I take that call, I'm very punctual and I keep it limited if need be. And I don't take up all of this time and energy. And I let you know. Sometimes I'll say hi very quickly, and then boom, I transition and I let you go, because you have to run your operations in your business, whether you're in it or you're on the outside looking in. We transition from both. So what do I mean by banking activity? Listen very carefully. So I have another tab open here that you can't see, but I have it in my drafts. Like I said, this is what I want to go off of. I can just do it by memory. I don't even have to look at this, but I put this together myself that I will be broadcasting out to you guys, and people are getting declined and they're getting PISSED off because they go to workshops. They don't even tell them this. The SBAs, other financial consultants, brokers, agents, people you're connected with, underwriters, lenders, they don't tell you this outright. It is my duty to, and they don't tell you it if they did to an extent. So you have to be well prepared for this next part, and let me jump right into it now. So Here's how your banking activity could be causing you to get declined for a business loan / advance for good forever. And literally, I'm not exaggerating this. I've been here before and it sucks ass, because if you're making these mistakes, you need to go back to the drawing board and take what I'm about to tell you as feedback and go and apply it. If you don't apply it and you come back to me with these questions and you still come back to me, well, I'm using a no, this is what is the requirement and this is how it works. As much as I expect you to be punctual with myself, I'm going to be punctual with you. So it's time for me that I step up, and I have been stepping up for a good amount of time. I'm just not going to be like talking in a monotone. Like, if I did that, do you guys really take any kind of action on the knowledge? I'm not even telling you guys to go and apply. I'm just telling you guys to go make these changes. So it's not me being aggressive or rude or negative about anything. Your banking activity may be leading you to doing this: transferring your funds between multiple accounts, which from a lender's point of view, their perspective, you are manipulating your bank statements. Whether you don't think you are or it's not the truth. I'm not manipulating anything. I'm not causing any fraudulent activity. Now, there's a degree that I'm going to get into fraud in a moment. Manipulating without fraud, because you know you're not doing that. And there's ways I can tell by bank statements and other forms easily. And it's way before it's passed on to the lenders. I can see this. And so what happens is you have multiple business checking accounts or personal accounts that you use for business, a personal checking account you're using for business. I'm going to get into Square, I was going to say Spotify, Shopify. It's almost similar. Spotify, Shopify, Square, Shopify, PayPal, working capital, all of these intermediaries, what I like to call them, as what you're using, whether they are a banking institution or not. They're a bank account or not. So I'm going to be getting into why that's relevant. So therefore, if you're transferring from multiple accounts, you're having multiple banking activity here. We're talking about business account here, there, boom, transferring from one to another in a way that won't always decline you, because we look at one primary account, and this is what you want to do. You want to be depositing directly into that one main account your sales, not I have 3 different banking institutions, or I have one banking institution with 50 different business checking accounts that I'm pushing in a check into one account, and then that check's being pushed into another one. I'm doing ACH deposits into this one, and then it's being transferred over to that one. If I were to look through your bank statements today, let me know in the comment section. Are you guilty of doing this with your checks, ACH deposits? Are you putting in these deposits into other parts of your accounts and then pushing them into one that we are primarily assessing? Don't be shy. I've been here before, especially with personal checking to business checking account. I had no idea. And that's what I didn't know back then. And I was getting declined. Nobody shares this stuff with you enough. They don't really share it. You just got to have online banking set up and a business checking account. But what if see how many more questions arise and nobody answers them for you? So let me continue here, and I'm going to get into a little bit more details. Therefore, if this is happening, let me back up here so you can remember where we left off. Transferring your funds between multiple accounts, which from a lender's point of view, you are manipulating your bank statements, whether you say you are not, and I can show proof, certification, that's out of the question, out of mind. Therefore, most of your funds are not deposits. Thus, they don't count as true revenue. This is a lot of the case when you're pushing from personal, is what I see mostly than anything, personal to a business checking account. Nope, sorry. Whatever you push from PayPal, whatever you push from Square into personal checking, if that's how it works without business checking, it's not going into a business checking account. Nope, those aren't funds that are going to be counted as deposits. Deposit it directly into that one business checking account is the best way to go. And you're thinking, well, I collect checks from customers this way. I got a vendor there. I got to go to an auction here, and I do it like this, like that. You don't really understand me. You don't understand how my business works. Regardless of any of that, there's always a solution. And I always get business owners where I'll ask them this question. I go, one thing I got to ask you about is your banking activity. And then I get into all the stuff you're hearing right now. I just spoke to a business owner in the trucking industry doing very well financially, can qualify for a banking loan, line of credit. And perhaps you're in here watching, you know who you are. And there's multiple of you as well in different situations. But you already spoke to me what you're experiencing and what you want to do with that expansion. And so perhaps a line of credit would be the best route to take while you're waiting for this option. Well, then we can get you a term loan on top of that. But if you're caught in inaction because you're still trying to question the validity of who I am, I'm sorry if it got kind of dark here. See what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about, I got to go into the settings and you guys, if you guys are HP users, I change the brightness on this and then sometimes it goes dark. I know I go into a zoom and it brings up the brightness on it and it brings this whole oval or a square, and I'm still not sure how to use that. I got to test it, see if it even shows up as part of the video because I don't want that appearing there. A little bit better now. And it's also because it got a little bit. See, Vancouver, Washington, you get days like this where it just becomes sunny and then it dims down and then it comes and then it's raining a second later. Bipolar weather. I'll be happy to go back to my original state of California here soon to visit friends and family, so that should be fun. Let me get back to this, though, and I should get you guys on your way. So therefore, most of your funds are not these deposits. Again, they're not stated as true revenue. Forget about what other people are telling you out there and listen very carefully, because I know the inside scoops. I know what underwriters want. I know what the lenders are looking for. And time again, I see people like with a dog with their tongue out, breathing so heavily because they're so exhausted of expiring and diluting themselves with information that's not even what works, or it's not even what's up to date today. And I'm just sick and tired of it because it's not like I'm tired of you. It's just the industry itself doesn't show you that. You get people who are like, yeah, let me talk to you about a loan you can get today. And, you know, if you come and apply, fill out this questionnaire and we'll help you out. And do you want to get information from somebody who's going to give it to you straight? Or would you want somebody who's going to be like, well, you can get 300,000 at 12 months and just, you know, we can take on a fourth, fifth position. No problem. You know, and they don't know what they're talking about. All they're looking for is to make money. I'm not in it for the money. I have multiple businesses. I love doing this. Sure, money helps you with freedom, but I'm doing this because I very much care. I've always wanted to be in this industry, and I've always wanted to understand what problems arise when business owners cannot get business funding, and I'm sick and freaking tired of it. And I'm an introvert. So when you expect me to talk, it's best that you listen very carefully, because I'm not one of these who just talks to talk. It's hard for me to be even here right now. So let me jump back onto my document or my email here. Instead, they are transfers, not deposits. They're looked at as transfers from your other bank accounts, which thus equals low volume after the fact. Oh, and perhaps the industry that you're in, it declines you even more. It just puts you more in the hole where, like, we can't. Perhaps if you were in this industry, but a lot of the times it's not allowed. And so when I'm looking through business owners' bank accounts and I see, and if I asked you right now, if you went into your bank statements and it says transfer, checking, or deposits, and or, I see those a lot, like deposits continuously. You're probably like, well, I do 100,000, I do 2 million. Those should be deposits, but they're not. So you have to be very careful. And I'll show you some examples in a moment of what can be passed and what's not. So what's the best option? That's what happens when you drink vegetable drink. Some of you guys are like, ooh, no, it's really good. I mean, you may not like it at first, but I've been drinking it just about every day, and it's built up already in my system. And then I had cereal, granola from Costco, put it in with milk. Amazing stuff. Okay. So what is the best option for you if you can't get a business loan / cash advance? Perhaps a personal loan that is used for business. If you have a strong enough credit, not A, because we value stronger credit history as opposed to your cash flow. This is the truth. If you cannot get a business loan cash advance because of your banking activity, and this is for me, it's almost like predictable. Like I know that most business owners have a problem because COVID and so many issues with customers not being able to make payments on time, unpaid invoices, people are not able to collect the money from them the way they're paying you. However, it stands, and this isn't the wild, wild west. So, like you had to already make an adjustment to these issues, that's right. You got to make a second adjustment. You're a business owner. Also, there's a key difference between being a small business owner and an entrepreneur. Small business owners, they can problem solve. Believe me, they can have the amount of ideas, the amount of time. I almost sounded British there with the word amount. I didn't purposely mean to say it that way. But they have ideas, they have projects. You may be a visionary, or you may be more of the entrepreneur who's just looking at the numbers. And that's where a lot of small business owners land in, is the person who is looking at the operational day-to-day, looking at the numbers, conversions, and just wanting to understand that. And then you have more of a visionary. You guys go read Rocket Fuel. It's a great book. But then you are the one that's wanting to create more of those ideas. You spark that kind of leadership that's needed. You're always trying to figure out a new way to solve a new problem. When a newer problem and even deeper one occurs, you're there. So what we have to do is integrate the visionary and then the integrator. So bring them both together to a point, but you're not always both. You're more of one or the other. And small business owners, and any business owner, if you've been in that position, you know who you are. You know how hard it is maybe for you to innovate, for you to transfer your emotions to your customers. You're just seeing them as a number. You may not think you are, but there's more to it than just making money. And so when you're thinking about it from one point of view, you forget about everything else. And it's hard for you to become that continuous problem solver, because entrepreneurship, pure entrepreneurs, I had to learn this the hard way. There is no document. Go to this guru, have them tell you this, push that button there, and then open up your Excel spreadsheet here. Make sure you read the first lines, and then we'll take a test today on the metric conversions of Forex, the differentials and inferential statistics of. I've been through school. I've done academically sound and well. I was that student who had put my blinders on and outworked people in my class. I was top of my class, and not in about all of them, but I was the guy who people would come to and ask me questions. I knew how to problem solve. I didn't wait on someone. I did not, hey, Sally, hi, John. No, I got to work. Better come here and bring me your attitude without anything it being wrong. Come to class, stay punctual, stay on the task at hand, and work at it. But when I see the difference being with small business owners who aren't like entrepreneurial spirit, and those who are entrepreneurial spirit will continue to elevate and continue to find more growth and expansion and continuously scale. And they won't be set back and happy with good enough. You have to continuously produce more and grow. And with all of this, when I tell people that change is what they need and it's good for you through my stories and so forth, they see the realization in that. Perhaps you haven't seen it yet, but let's continue. Let's not go too far off on a tangent here talking about calculus and derivatives and so forth. But so after we can assess you for a personal loan instead, we still have to take a look and see what you would qualify for. And if you were expecting a lot in one take and can't come back and time again get more, then it may not even work for you. So in all, be careful of transferring your funds. Just don't do it. I know maybe you're in a situation where you're not given another situation, but you have to understand that use that one business checking account where you're depositing into it continuously. Just have one main account, business checking for your sales deposits, and this will not be an issue. So many people have been declined this week because of this, and the previous weeks, and will continuously throughout. Personal checking account to business checking account is not actual revenue, not true revenue, as I said. Some of this stuff might sound a little bit repetitive. In your business checking account, and be careful having too many business checking accounts depositing funds into other business checking accounts, ACH deposits, checks, however that may be, because I've said this before, it doesn't look like enough or any deposits are being made. So, before I forget, and I don't want to jump into this, I'm gonna talk about infrequency of deposits in this next segment. But before I do, some quick examples. So PayPal, personal checking, PayPal, you're taking that and you're putting it into a business checking account, not stated revenue, meaning it's not true revenue, thus it's not a deposit. So if your business is taking credit and even debit, that's best. That's what a lot of business owners do. And I know not a lot of us are able to work in those types of transactions. And there are other ways away from credit card, debit card processing. But that is a primary payment method that you should be taking into your business. Because when it comes down to, can I get a business loan / cash advance? If we're not seeing these, then it won't work. And I just looked through a bunch, like before I got on here, I looked through a lot of my clients, a lot of them, on bank statements, just to see if there's anything more that I wanted to pick out so I can share with you guys. But man, like I see the repetition of all of it, like when it was put in the account, the debited and credited of this, starting, ending bank balance. It looks good. Like, sure, you're doing 10 million, but it's not deposits. Sorry, like come back in 3 months. Like that's what I've had to tell people lately is, hey, once you start depositing into that one business checking account, the way it needs to be deposited in there, and there's times for ACH deposits, then put your sales primarily into that account, and taking credit and debit is the best format to go off of. And again, that one business checking account, and that will save you a lot of time. So I've had people who have to come back in about 3 months. Somebody has to come back in about a month. I'll talk about non-sufficient funds and negative days in just a moment, and some time periods for that, as well as if you transition into getting a business checking account for the first time, how much time should you wait before you can go ahead and go get approved or apply and then get approved. So I will answer, or I will see those questions or comments in just a moment. Okay, another example here. We have like Square Capital, as I said, Square, as I said earlier. You want to be careful of how that's being processed, because it could be primarily pushed into a personal account, and then you have a separate account other than that banking activity, that banking spot. So when you're transferring funds from a business checking to a business checking, it can work in some instances, but we just have to see from what accounts and what is actually being transferred. That's why it's hard to track like checks, sometimes these ACH deposits, because we can't, with 100% certainty, we can't see the validity of it. What I mean by that is, sure, you're telling me a customer is paying you like this, but we don't know for a fact. We cannot go speak to a customer. We shouldn't have to do that. What if it's manipulated? What if somehow you got more than intended for that job, or and so forth? We're not seeing actual projections. So there's so much discrepancy with this that it's rather that you don't go through that. So back to this. So Square, I've seen Shopify can be a segment, business checking, if you're making sure you're putting everything into your business checking account. In some instances, those can work, e-commerce and so forth. But if that's not the primary problem, then there are more things, like you're in debt, non-sufficient funds. If you have more than 5 non-sufficient funds in a month, done, gone. You can't get any funding. Negative days within each of the last 3 months or so, done. You got to come back after those 90 days. No negative days, non-sufficient funds, keep them limited. Now let me move back here. Let me move into the frequency of deposits and what that means. Before I read anything, what I'm stating here is you have to deposit frequently I don't care if we're looking at 3 months of bank statements. You better be depositing the 4th, the 5th, the 6th month frequently. A lot of the times we just look at the period of what we need. If we just needed 3 months of bank statements, 4 to 6, 12 months, depending on the type of service, as well as industry specific, we want to possibly see more. And we're basing this and we're saying, hey, Jack, you did one deposit. You're doing 50,000 in average monthly revenue. You did 50,000 on your lowest month. Cash flow looks good. Time in business, 2 years. Great. You're in the restaurant niche and you have a FICO credit score of 725. Whoa, you're a paper. But what it comes down to is when we look at banking activity, one. Secondly, and this can be flip-flopped. It doesn't have to be in this sequential order. So banking activity, and then you have the deposits. Infrequency of deposits will get you. A lot of people this week got declined because of that. They met everything. Just did not have the frequency of deposits and or your banking activity. And what I've seen is, hey, if you're doing 50,000 for this example, well, when did you deposit it? First and foremost. Did you deposit it at the first of the month, the 15th, and then you didn't deposit anything later on? Oh, this light isn't so good. I apologize for that. If you're just tuning in, I said I got a new laptop and I'm still trying to work around the whole lighting. It didn't change outside. But infrequency of your depositing, whether it's 90 days, 120, and so forth, that will get you. So if you're doing 50,000, don't just deposit one big check at the beginning of the month or the end of the month. More so, it's a lot of the time. So if you're depositing one big check, and checks can kind of derail your chances of getting funding as well, and the way that you're doing it, ACH in cases as well. So be careful of how you're depositing it into your account. So you're putting one $50,000 check at the end of your month. And that's it. Decline. I don't have to go look at your other months. I'm going to see 50,000 in one account. Your primary checking account. I'm going to say this is March. Now let's look at April's month. So you did 60,000 this month. And again, but this time you did 30,000. And then another 30,000. You did it, however, what time you did it during that month, it's out of the question now. What I'm primarily looking at is that you just make two huge deposits of 30,000. Sounds good, looks good. But to me, the underwriters and the lenders, no. Because you're infrequent of depositing already from 1 month of $150,000 amount in sales to about 2 for 60,000, whatever time period that was in the month. And that shows us that you're not depositing one frequently, perhaps the way you're collecting payments every 2 weeks, or however you're having these unpaid invoices, or however you're structured. But that has to change. You have to find a way to collect payments much faster. Charge customers right then and there. So 30,000 now. Okay, now let's see. So now we're in May. And now if we're in May, we're evaluating you in June. So we look at the last previous 3 months. So June's we wouldn't need yet. So at the end of May, which is right around the corner, you've deposited 50,000 in total. There's the light. But this time you did two amounts, 20,000 by 2, and then you deposited another 10,000. Perhaps you did it every the first week, second week, and then the third week, but you didn't deposit later on, whatever it was. Now, that's looking a little bit better. There's still higher amounts, which we question, and we go, why were you depositing so much in one take? And we look at the average daily bank balances and everything to make some considerations of all this. But 3 and above usually is what we want to see. If not, 5 to 7 and above is what you're going to get into. So what does that say? If I'm doing 50,000, that's right. You want to break 50,000 up on a consistent weekly basis is your best thing to do. Depositing it daily by far is the best. However much you're depositing in it, deposit daily, much, much better. Do it on a weekly basis, great. But push that out and deposit it frequently into the account. Like I said, if you're depositing 5 times, let's say it's instead of 3 times, now you've broken it up into 15,000, 15,000, 45,000 here at 15 by 3, and then equals to 5,000. And we're still at 50,000, which is equal to our goal of average monthly revenue. So 50,000 now, and you're doing that over the course of the 90 days that we're looking at your bank statements and even more, you're in the green. But, now another thing, you have an overdraft. Well, this is why I'm using other services, because I have an overdraft and I don't want to pay the overdraft fee. You're avoiding to pay these things. So you go the alternative route. There's no one thing that I have not seen, whether I've been through it or not. I know why business owners avoid doing something. So non-sufficient funds and negative days can really hurt you. I've had a business owner just recently got approved for an offer. Great. Final underwriting, declined. Why? Not sufficient funds, too many negative days, done, out. Come back next month or so, we can reevaluate you. And it could have also decreased the amount of funding that they were going to get the second time around. So these are big issues, guys, that I hope you guys have more information on. Let me see. I'm going to go through this document. So at least 3 deposits, if not 5, the more the better. Consistency matters, frequency of your depositing. If you've applied to different places with these issues, you are very likely on the lender's watch list. I'm going to say that right now. You're on their data merge. There are more names. I'm not going to put other names out there. I don't want to reveal that information. This is only stuff that's really confidential between the underwriters and myself, the senior, junior officers, the lenders. So I cannot give out information like that, and I'm not going to get into specifics. The more, the better. If you have applied to more places with these issues, good luck, because you may not even get anything with good details, or you may get a huge reduction and you're going to have to prove to us that you could make these payments and then that you won't ever have to do this again. You are on the watch list. Maybe I haven't communicated that with you because I can't always say that. And there's more information that I can't give out. So this is why you don't just apply everywhere and do the whole shotgun approach, or you're like, this Michael guy is foolish. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. He doesn't understand my situation. No, that's not the case. You're doing it because of your ego. You're egotistical. And you're thinking, well, I'm going to go get a better offer here. Look at me. I'm the business owner who runs a $15 million a year business. So what? I don't care. Well, I care, but I'm saying, like, if you're coming at it from a pompous point of view and in that attitude, it really shows a lot about your characteristics and how you also operate in your personal and your business life. Keep the two separate by all means, but be careful about how you approach what you do. So let me know in the comment section if you guys learned something today. Please let me know your thoughts. Marco, you got declined because supposedly they couldn't verify my void check I sent them. Did you not fill something out? Oh, no, it's a voided check. Sorry, I was thinking about an actual check. There's something that they're looking through that's more than the voided check. There has to be some account information. Perhaps it's a business checking account, some banking information that doesn't align. So there has to be more to this course, as you already know. I would ask them, if you can, more specifically, what was the reason behind? How did they make the determination? That's what I would follow. I would do that. I know reasons, I'm telling you right now, but they're going to give you more in depth, specific to your file. I'm going to give this a little bit more time. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to do so. If you guys didn't know this, I got a new laptop. I went to Costco this weekend, last weekend. I had gone before. I saw the one that I wanted, and then I got back there Sunday. Ended up getting this HP i5 core processing speed with Intel Iris. Well, it says Iris. Iris Xe graphics, Intel Core i5, performance powered by an 11th gen Intel Core i5, a compact laptop with long battery life, which is what I needed, entertainment with micro edge screen and audio by B&O. I love it so far. It's taking an adjustment. I'll show you guys the previous laptop that I had. We've been through a lot. But it is time that I retire you. This laptop has been amazing to me. The thing is, with 4 gigabytes, it's not enough storage. So I needed something with more capacity. The way that it processing speed, I needed that to function. This one was already like running low and slow, and I couldn't get things to load as fast. Uh, Productivity wise, I dealt with a laptop like that for a good amount of time. And it's not because I'm cheap or I don't have the money. It's just, I think maybe you can relate to this. Like when you get attached to something, it's not because I got comfortable. Yeah, partially, but I love the feel of the laptop and I saw what else was out there and I didn't want to readjust to one like the one I have right now, but I've been doing well at it. The keys on this, it's not as compact as that one is. Here, I'll show you guys. To my right here, there's not an extra row and column of keys like the one I have right now. So the space bar is right here. All I have to do is transfer my thumb or my pinky over here and just go like this very quickly. But on this laptop, sometimes I'm clicking the enter button or the plus button over here instead of the little keys to my left. So I kind of have to like, without looking at it, you guys are like, whoa, what a big deal. It is when you get comfortable and you understand how to use a certain laptop. And then now I have this, still trying to figure out how to use the external hard drive. If you guys know more about this, I tried looking up more videos on Seagate, but I really didn't have any luck. And then I looked through blog posts. I have it currently connected because I transferred everything from my old laptop to this one. But how can I do it where I don't have to have this external hard drive connected? Like, do I have to have it on the whole time or not? Because I see the files, but once I disconnect it, they're gone. And I will figure this out because I'm sure there's a way to do it. I know there are other formats where I can use cloud or I can go through a drive and then upload it all in there. But in the meantime, I'm doing this and I'm going to be taking hopefully my new laptop to California. My mom the other day, she's like, "You sure you want to take your new laptop?" Like she saw me when I had a new laptop. Like, no, well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to take a new laptop on the plane. You know how moms can be and parents. But I almost chuckled a little bit when she was telling me this. And I went, yes, I'm going to take this laptop and the reasoning behind it. But that's what I have going on right now. I got a few more books. And I already read them, but I wanted them like physically in my possession. But great books like Rocket Fuel is a great one, Traction, one of my favorites, Atomic Habits, and so forth. So I'll give this a little bit more time to see if anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns. If not, I will get going. Here's something I don't understand. One thing that I want to make apparent before I leave. You guys have heard me say this before. I remember a time when I was in sports and I got into soccer. My dad put me in it. He was really good at it. He was a forward and he was being recruited by like the LA Galaxy in California at a point. I had other family members. My grandpa played it. My younger brother did as well. And I would go out to training camp. This is way back before I even got to a level that I got to. And I thought I would just show up and kick a ball, have a crack a smile here and there. But little did I know that when I got to that training ground in California, when I was living there, with the culture that I was in and everybody around, this was one of the best teams that they gave me a chance to come in and practice with. I had a lot of troubles. I won't say that I ever got off the ground running. I mean, I got to running, but I learned quite a few lessons of having a team mentality, having the right leadership, the right mentorship to guide you in the directions you need to go to. So I always looked at this coach, or I looked at my dad as the figure who showed me the way. I worked really hard to become a Division One soccer athlete, who basically just about played almost pro in Brazil. I was there for a little bit of time, long time ago. Like I don't even watch soccer that much anymore. I don't even play the sport. I have too many other things going on, too many other focuses, and that's the way it should be. Sports on everything. It's good for fun nowadays, but it's not something that I spend heavily my time on thinking about. So throughout that time period, when I was just about 9 or so, 8, yeah. And I started to grasp the reality of what team leadership really is. I wasn't yet myself a leader, but I looked to this coach to guide me, my family to guide me. And all that meantime, I was learning and developing new skill sets. While I was doing all of this, I was also learning from someone. And then once I got older, I started getting into more activities with the sport, with more coaches who would advance me in my skill sets, practice one-on-one with a professional, got to a point where I needed to. I wasn't the most athletically built person. You can look at me right now. I do not have a skinny-ish figure. My dad does not have that body composition. So we did not grow up skinny. I can't just eat and not there was a time when my metabolism was fast and I was just skinny. But then as you age, as you know this, body composition becomes different. You got to work harder. You got to take care of your body more. You got to become more nutritious. And so like when I started to learn all of that, it started to teach me how to think of myself in an internal matter so then I can project that externally. And so what I say to many of you who are in a position where you're just running a business day to day, for one, go back to your roots. Ask yourself why you started in the first place. Once you have that answer, can you then answer yourself, do I have a mission? Do I have the values? But most importantly, do I have deliberate purpose? You have to have all of these aligned. And so, like the example of me growing up playing the sport, I learned what my mission was. I learned what my goals were. They became more clear what my outcome was, my values, and the type of deliberate purpose that I had just far exceeded a lot of expectations. And so, what I say is always continue to grow, learn from myself and others, but don't cave yourself into a hole where you believe that you are always right about everything. Because if you come to it at a point where you're just like, well, I need to get this, I believe I should get this. You're not entitled to get $50,000. You're not entitled to get 1 million. Who do you think you are? You're not somebody who has the fundability details yet to get you that. So in like life, like what I had to do coming up, not only in the sport, but in everything else, I had to readjust. I had to readjust the way that and I went to a kid's party yesterday. I had no alcohol. Not really a drinker at all. I don't drink. I'll have a drink here and there. And you'll be my best friend if we went out and you said, hey, I'll get you a Jack and a Coke. Boom, you're in. That's my signature drink. Like Jack and a Coke, just almost refreshing, sweet enough. Taste of the whiskey, perfect. There's a note right there. Hi, Shantae. Yeah, like I said, I haven't said this really in the beginning, but I am very busy too, so I can't always get to everybody right away. And it'll be even more because I'm going to be going on vacation here soon, and hopefully I can respond to you guys sooner than that. And I will take my laptop on me, so I'm going to have it in the hotel. So I'll take some time, not too much, to do all that. And hopefully I can get back to you. But it's all about readjusting, guys. Readjusting your mindset readjusting that the path you were put on can be the one that you strictly stay on, but you have to continuously adapt and change. Like the market will always change. I'm always having to stay on top of all of it. And with you guys, like I'm trying to email you guys, and I'm like, right now I'm like sweating all over the place just talking. But I put deodorant on. Don't worry. You won't smell it. And so I'm always trying to stay on top of things. And you just got to adjust your frame of mind. And it's not like because you got declined right now, it's always going to be that way. Or because I didn't get an EIDL loan, don't be stuck on EIDL loans. Like what I'm saying is don't just go for it, but also open up your mind to what the alternatives are here. Don't think that EIDL loans are just this. And I have people who come to me and go, well, what are my alternatives? Well, there's a questionnaire form that I can help you guys with. There are loans out there that can be between 6 to 30% in interest, perhaps 2% plus 2% or 4%, which is prime rate a lot, plus 2% or 2% to 6%, or an unsecured term loan prime rate plus 2 to 8%. So you can fall somewhere between less than 10% or just into the early teens. Down payment for equipment, you may have to put a lot more because your credit is not where it needs to be. So we can let you get in with less than desirable credit. And then there are other programs where like we need a 625 and above. Start your complete startup 700 and above. Nope, can't budge on that. 700 and above, and there may be some other things we look at and can allow it. Just below it, oh well, you have better credit. That's what we would accept you for. Then 10 to 15% or 10 to 25% maximum is possibly what we can get you in on a down payment. Bad credit, 50% and above. Well, you know what you got yourself into because I usually communicate that. But I guess I'll let it go for about another minute. I know some people are jumping on here. Once I get away from here, I might go to, I don't like saying the word TikTok, but I'll go to TikTok and I may do a live there. But that's where you guys could find me. See, today is Tuesday. See, I'm already losing track of my time in days. Not time, but days. It's already Tuesday and I'm not like this with my finances, by the way. It's 50,000. There's a funny story. Not too long ago, about 2 to 3 months ago, I'm sitting here on my table on a different chair, not the one you see right now, different laptop. And I'm doing one of these. I'm just typing a few things. I couldn't get the letters H and J to work or the Y and the U because probably I think it was water damage. So this is why the big reason why I had to get a new laptop instead of replacing the keyboard. But I'm right here working. I took a look over to my phone really quick to see a notification pop up. I think it was from TikTok. I was communicating with somebody, so I was expecting a notification. It wasn't from them. I turned back around here working, and I get a phone call from an underwriter and senior officer. Now I'm on the phone. I go, hi. I want to say their name here. How are you doing today? I go, I'm doing great. How about yourself? All is well. Thanks for asking. He goes, man, you know how much you've done today? Honestly, I don't know. Reason is because I've been working very hard the last couple of days. I just haven't been keeping track of that. Well, let me tell you. And he had that like smooth voice, like it almost sounded like he was smoking a cigar, sitting beachside Miami or somewhere out in the Bahamas, just enjoying a sunny day. That's what I had envisioned when he transferred his voice through the phone. And as I'm thinking this of what he told me, the amount that I've done, I go, like I said, honestly, I didn't know. I'll check it again, maybe at the end of the week or the end of the month. Great. Now I'm going to continue getting back to work and providing value for you guys. Sorry about that lighting. So I thought that was kind of funny that, and I know it's not like, funny joke. It was funny in the sense that how he approached me in the phone call, but at the same time, I didn't have an understanding of what I was doing. Like I said, again, I'm here to provide you guys the value, Money can come and it goes. Uh, Money, if it comes in, sure, it's great, but I reinvest it back into my business so I can help you guys even more. It may produce another video or another, perhaps it's an ad that I wanted to put together, but I didn't have the funds to. So now that I do, I have something that I wanted to create even better for you guys, or I wanted to put this course together that I'm not charging you. And I wanted to do it a specific way, but now that I have this flowing, I can help you guys a lot better. So that, and also keep in mind that, and it's funny, I spoke to a business owner yesterday in the trucking industry up north in Spokane area. And we were just talking, and he goes, I like to keep things the way that I have them, my eggs and like my bacon, something similar. And I go, we're very much the same. And he just kept on going. And we just started talking a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, well, I'm an old school person myself as well. But it's a great conversation nonetheless, and it moved into the direction that it needed to. Okay, so that'll conclude everything. I know I went off a little bit speaking about other things aside from business funding, but if you guys got value out of this, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. If you feel somebody else will get value out of this video, a complete stranger, a friend, or a family member, all of the above, please do share this with them. I do feel like they will get value out of this. I'm sure you will. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sharing it. And it just takes a simple click to be able to do that, possibly post it on your Facebook. I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody, whether they decide they enjoy listening to what I have to say or do, and they want to move forward and they need the help, whether they can get it now or in the future. I'm all for it, and I'm here to help them and yourself get the business funding that you need. That is everything from myself. Take care. Keep looking out for my content, my videos, my emails, my blog posts, if anything, my social media. And if you have already started an application, and if I don't say this in the next couple of weeks or so, make sure you follow through. If you're going to say you're going to do something, not even on an application, but you're going to get a hold of me, you're going to contact me, however that is, via email, don't just say it and not do it. That's my biggest pet peeve. Do not do that to me. Do not say, hey, I'll get a hold of you next week, or I'll send you an email about this. Do not. Just don't go there. If you are not going to follow through, like, don't just say it and not do it. I'm a person, as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to tell Stacy, I'm going to get back to you tomorrow, sometime in the morning. I can't give you an exact time. Maybe I'll give you between 8 to 12. I will get a hold of you. I'll say, hey, by 1 o'clock, I will get a hold of you. Boom. When I have to meet appointments, I will be there. A lot of the times they get declined. Sometimes if you booked an appointment and I didn't get there recently, perhaps I apologize for not being able to tell you ahead of time because I had a project or something else, a family matter. I do apologize for that sincerely. But sometimes it comes down to people not showing up. And I don't have time for that. I don't. My energy couldn't be used effectively to do that. So I need to move. And if I see something like that, just be aware of what you're doing. If you're going to tell me, hey, I'm going to send you an email, you don't have to tell me the time. That's even worse. If you tell me a time and the location and so forth and you don't do it, disgusting. It's not good. It's not good at all. I have to move on, and I probably will put you on the back burner, and you'll know why. I won't say it, but you'll know why. Because you're just wasting my time, and you're wasting a lot of energy that I need to be putting into somebody who's serious, whether it's funding now or in the future. They need something fixed. This is what we do to go about doing that. Oh, here's Jeremy, who said he was going to send me an email, or I sent them the information they needed. Now they're just continuously coming back to me, email after email. Why are you doing that? You saw the email that I sent you. I've answered the questions you wanted. I tried to get a hold of you. Nothing comes back to me in about a week or two. And then you out of the blue send me an email, not even apologizing. Like, you don't have to, but hey, I just got caught up doing this. I get that from time to time, which is okay. But then following up with ignoring a text message. I'm not pressuring nobody to do nothing. So punctuality matters to me first and foremost. So if you're in the middle of an offer and you need help with it, communicate that back with me. Perhaps I sent you an email. If I don't hear anything back, maybe it's a text message. Perhaps I have to give you a phone call. And so you shouldn't be disappointed. You shouldn't be upset with that, because feedback is number one. If there's no feedback coming to me, if you expect that in your personal life, feedback from your children, from your kids, it's similar to what I expect outside of a personal life in a situation, in business. Just be upfront. Feedback is everything. Not shutting down. I don't want the offer, so I'm going to go somewhere else. And this guy's full of SHIT, and this company doesn't know what I want to do. And it's not how you go about it. Not. You want to end up on the lender's watch list? There you go. And they are not easy about any of that. So that finally is everything for myself. Look in the description for all information. I appreciate your guys' time. Have a rest of your amazing week. I'm at amazing rest of your week. See how I said that? And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to voice them out to me. And I will make sure I get them answered in the most diligent, respectful, humble way you guys will ever get. That is everything for me.